Sir, your taxi has arrived.
Whoa, we're going fast, we're going fast. Oh.
I had so much fun. I've been telling my wife every day, like, you know what, this is so cool because it reminds me of the early days. Sir, your taxi has arrived.
Berlin Friedrichshain, bitte.
You and I can talk. Alright, you ready?
Yes.
I think both. I think Simric will allow you to know how to drive with the car, like in general, the general car control. But if you want to learn the track, then you go to S7, of course, because it's the best way. You divide. You cannot even on the sim divide the racetrack in sections. You really need to do the full lap, and if you mess up one section, you need to redo the whole lap. I'm sure there are like some mods here and there, but most of the normal out-of-the-box sims, they do not support that kind of behavior. So, yeah, I guess a combination of both. Because here you come prepared knowing vaguely the track, but more importantly, knowing the vehicle dynamics and how you need to do the basics. Although here you also focus on the basics, but it's more really on the track knowledge. So if someone wants to master the Nürburgring Nordschleife, this is the best way. That's a good question, and it's the eternity-old question. I mean, in the end, it's of course also one of the reasons that this place is so popular. So, nothing is black and white in life, and also not this. We adore people who do things that do great achievements, but those achievements, they come from racing, from doing lap records in sanctioned environments, not during public sessions, track days, where there is nothing to win. And let's be honest, even if I would win 24-hour race, my name would be forgotten already the following morning. It's not the wins that people remember, but the mistakes. So long story short, I love seeing what people achieve here, what manufacturers achieve here, the whole teams. But it's of course not nice when people try to impress someone in like non-competitive environment, like public sessions, Touristenfahrten, track days, or even Scuderia S7. Yeah, keep it on the track in the right place and right time. Don't go do drifts in the roundabouts because nobody cares. Except for your 2 followers on your Instagram page maybe, and even those are probably bought. I've been there myself and it cost me a lot of money. So if you don't care about your money, care about others, because it's always nice to be nice to people and that other people in one way like and respect you. And if you're gonna be the guy that's gonna close the track, you're not gonna make any friends. And in the end, it's always nice to have some friends, and especially friends that like what you do and do things together. We're here to learn and to improve ourselves, and improvements comes with practice. And if you're gonna force yourself, it's not gonna give you any favors, it's not gonna do anything good to you. And therefore just practice, practice, practice. And when you look at professional drivers, what separates them from the non-professional drivers? Non-professional drivers are gonna do something like this.
Whoa, we're going fast, we're going fast. Whoa, whoa.
And then you just hear the tires squeal, and you're gonna end up in the wall. It might look exciting, but it's not. And now exhibit B, professional driver. We are flat out gonna go 200 kilometers per hour with one hand. Much faster, much smoother. That's the difference between the pro and an aggressive driver. You're always in control and you're doing things easy. And it might look super boring, but that's extremely fast. So look at all the lap records, look at everything. Driving reckless or exciting, it's not getting you anywhere. It only gets you in trouble. So I think if you now want to learn from me, learn from people who are there, have achieved big successes on the Nürburgring in terms of lap records or actually 24-hour wins. You see them drive the fastest cars in the world in the most boring manner. And there's a reason behind that, because you're in complete state of relaxation. If something goes wrong, you already feel it coming and you know how to react to it. So, there's that. First of all, let's be realistic. Racing is about budget. Either you bring your own budget or you find sponsors that will help you that. People need to forget the traditional idea of sponsorship, where you go to them like, oh, you can put a sticker on my car and yeah, you give me some money, a lot of money, because that's not working. You need to be able to tell a story, and you need to be able to have good communicative skills, and most importantly, you need to be humble. That's when it comes to, in general, being a race car driver. Communicative skills, not only to your sponsors, also to your fans, to the people, and also to the team. A lot of F1 drivers or potential F1 drivers don't make it because once they go from karting to F4, F3, F2, the amount of commitments changes massively. So instead of first you having to deal with your mom and dad and your uncle mechanic, you all of a sudden have a team principal, you have data engineer, you have your sponsor, the head of marketing of the other sponsor, the someone who has won the giveaway from your sponsor. And there's so much more around it than driving alone. And this is what makes people crack under pressure. Because you might have some unpleasant fan interaction or competitor interaction, then you get into the car and your head is not in the right place. So the mental training is possibly even more important, and social training, than the driving training alone. Because the driving can make you perfect, but if you don't know how to use your mind properly, that's gonna mess things up off the track for further success, but also on the track while you're driving. Because right now I'm trying to have a conversation with you while we're doing quite decent speeds through the most demanding racetrack in the world. Well, that comes with some training, muscle memory, but still being able to talk. Anyway, that aside, of course, get into sim racing. It might sound boring, but practice makes perfect. And purchasing a sim is a one-time cost. And then you can try out setups, try out driving techniques. And if you crash, you just restart and go again. You crash again and again and again and again until you do not crash. And that eliminates the amount of times you're gonna crash in real life. And trust me, you are going to crash in real life. It's just a question, are you gonna crash in go-karts from the moment that your parents have put into it when you've been 4 years old and it's not that expensive losing control and crashing a go-kart? Or you start driving later, much later, as I did, and you have to also go through the same path of the learning curve that includes all the driving mistakes. But yeah, on the sim it's easier. If you want to master the Nordschleife, then definitely think of sector training, because that puts you also with great people, great instructors, great participants, and great networking. So, long story short, take care of everything. Do not focus on one thing. It's good to excel in one thing, but you need to keep a mind of everything. Just like a proper races are won because of everything fitting. The race team, the components, the race driver, everything. Because if one link fails in the chain, the whole chain disrupts. Extremely important. I mean, first of all, you can look at professional drivers, the proper GT3 factory drivers. They're extremely skinny with between 9 to 12% of body fat, so they can endure a lot. Then again, also, if you're driving a GT3 car, every 10 kilos costs you 0.6 seconds per lap. So actually that's quite a lot. If you're not so much of a pro driver, it can cost you even more in lap timing, because your body needs to be able to endure G-forces, but also high heat. The best thing to do that I ever do to become a better driver is work on my fitness. I actually, with every new race car that I'm driving, I discover new muscles that need to be trained. So for example, when we started driving GT cars, okay, you get more G-forces on your neck, so you should work on your neck muscles. This year, when we drive the Porsche GT3 Cup car, I realized I need to train my hamstrings, basically this side, because when we're driving with left foot braking, the Cup car is one of the most violent and demanding cars there is to drive. So you need to be relaxed with your hands for the steering, but you're doing left foot braking. And of course you're strapped in with a 6-point harness, but your legs do need to be focused and locked in for the gas application and braking. Therefore you're locking in with your heels on the floor. So what I noticed is after a few laps, this was actually 2 tenths, and there was a lots of basically like very weird exercises that I do at home just to train this so I can be locked in the car. And then finally, of course, endurance. Like professional drivers, race car drivers, they go out for like 200 kilometers a day cycling, 1400 kilometers a week. It's not unusual numbers that you hear, because you need to have very good blood circulation, cardiovascular system with blood flow. And as you've seen now, when you drive, you're on the limit, your heart is pumping, and you should not be thinking about like, I'm out of breath, I need to finish this lap. No, this should be super easy, because your head should not be thinking about your fitness. Your body needs to be used to that, and you just focus on the driving. You want to take it to the next level, you put on full winter clothing, you go in a sauna on a home trainer. And that's how you simulate being in a Cup car that gets up to 60 degrees. And while you're going for a double stint of 3 hours of hard pushing in G-forces. It sounds all fine and dandy, but yeah, that's driver fitness is the best way to become faster, yes, because it allows you your mind to think under high physical pressure, but more importantly safe, because it's going to be so easy to operate your body and the car in the high demanding situations. I had so much fun. I've been telling my wife every day, like, you know what, this is so cool, because it reminds me of the early days. Because when I came to the Nürburgring, after spending here some time, some years, some laps, one of my more prominent jobs that people know me from the early days was actually being an instructor. And I really enjoyed the process. There is nothing more rewarding than having a student or a driver, or however you want to call them, to go with you and having the fire in the eyes after you teach them something new and they nail that particular section, and it changes their whole driving behavior, and it gives them more excited for you for the next steps, and they're very thankful to what you've done, even though it's actually not a lot. It's because the biggest improvements come from covering the basics. But sometimes people need someone else to tell them or explain them in a specific way how things are done. And this is what I had now here, because we have quite a big group of people from different backgrounds, some pro drivers, younger drivers, older drivers, faster cars, slower cars, solo cars that driven fast. And it's so good to see everyone progress in their own manner, in their own way, and most importantly having great fun. Because yeah, we drive a lot, we talk a lot, we eat not too much. There is big buffet, but we always tell do not eat too much, because it's extra weight, but keep your sugar level high, of course. And everyone's having a great time. New friends are being made, new connections, new networks. And for me, it's almost like, you know, blast to the past, having a day off, because I'm just here in my car doing a lead and follow, We're not stressed. We do not try to prove anything. I'm not racing. I do not have millions of people watching me. Maybe this video gets viewed a lot. But it's just like, we are here with a common goal to have fun, to improve ourselves. And that's amazing. It's really, really good. Participants are amazing. The marshals, the whole organization team, the instructors, everyone is working together, learning from each other. The instructors also giving tips to each other. And that is great. So I'm having fun. I'll happily be back again. So I think next one is September.
Yes, 20th.
Yeah, so hope to see you there.